Abraham stared at the dying embers of the campfire, the weight of the divine command crushing the air out of his lungs. He had waited 100 years for this boy, 100 years of silence, then a miracle, and now this. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and sacrifice him. The words felt like jagged stones in his throat. He didn't wake Sarah. He couldn't. He just saddled the donkey, chopped the wood, and started walking. For 3 long days, every step felt like moving through deep water. Isaac, full of youth and energy, skipped ahead, oblivious to the heavy shadow trailing him. Abraham watched the back of the boy's head, memorizing the way the morning sun caught his hair. This was the son of the promise, the one meant to carry the stars of a whole nation in his bloodline. Now, that bloodline felt like it was ending at his own hands. "Father," Isaac's voice cut through the silence as they began the final ascent up Mount Moriah. The boy was carrying the heavy wood on his shoulders. Abraham held the torch and the long, sharpened knife. "We have the fire and the wood, Father, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham's hand tightened on the cold hilt of the blade until his knuckles turned white. He didn't look back. He couldn't face those eyes. "God will provide the lamb for himself, my son." He hoped his voice didn't crack. He hoped the boy couldn't hear his heart shattering inside his chest. At the summit, the world felt thin and silent. Abraham built the altar stone by stone, the rhythmic thud of the rocks sounding like a funeral drum. Then came the moment the air turned to ice. He had to bind him. To his horror, Isaac didn't fight. The boy remained still, looking up with those wide, trusting eyes that had only ever seen protection and love from his father. Abraham laid him on the rough wood. The boy's breath was shallow and fast, a small bird trapped in a cage. Abraham reached for the knife. His fingers were shaking violently, his vision blurred by a stinging heat that wasn't from the sun. He raised the blade high against the blue sky. This was the end of everything, the end of the promise, the end of his soul. He closed his eyes, bracing for the movement that would haunt his lineage forever. "Abraham, Abraham." The voice didn't come from the earth. It tore through the sky like a sudden thunderclap, stopping time itself. His arm froze in midair. "Do not lay a hand on the boy." Abraham collapsed, his forehead hitting the dirt as the knife fell into the dust. His lungs finally pulled in air. Then, a rustle, a frantic shuffle in the thicket behind them. A ram, caught by its horns in the brush. The ropes were cut. The test was over, but the mountain would never be the same. He held Isaac, so tight the boy could barely breathe, the smell of dust and life filling his senses.